about every other year for the last few years we've done this. And I'm Wayne Chisholm, and I'm happy to be here with you. And we're going to start with Dave Dickerson. Dave is president of IUTA. If he gets up and leaves a little while, maybe an hour or so, it's not because he's bored. He's got another meeting to go to. So we let Dave go first, and I don't know how many years ago I got acquainted with Dave, a long time ago anyway. When
went to Tonga in 2000.
Went to Tonga in 2000. And I was coordinating the dentists that were going to Tonga in 2000. In fact, I started in, well, 97, I guess, when we started having dentists go to Tonga. But Dave's got a wealth of information. He's done lots and lots of service. He gets to go down and look in a few dozen or 100 mouths every week? Every Thursday at the Provo MTC. He especially focuses on those who have come from a foreign country. He assumes that those who come from the United States and Canada have got had their dentistry done and have got a good mouth, but that's not always true. But anyway, I'll turn the time over to Dave, and he's going to show some things and talk a while. And then Len Ace, who is, he's not a member of the Academy, so butter him up. We'd like to get him involved. And but he's down in my neck of the woods. He's from Manti, and he's been doing service projects for, what, 14 years? And he's gone many, many places. Twice to Samoa, 14 times to the Dominican Republic, and he doesn't go by himself. Over the years, he's taken 1,400, 1,500 other people with him, doctors, dentists, hygienists, assistants. So that's quite a thing. And then we got Lawrence Holmer and Thomas Johnson that are going to do a presentation, and we'll see whatever time's left. And Evan and I will take a minute or two. So, Dave?
Thank you. Well,
Dave, you have to have this thing.
Oh, I got to talk to myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'll look this up. My belt is so tight to keep me slim.
That's good.
Is this going to work? Okay. Wayne asked me if I were to share a few ideas as far as what I do and where we go. And the thing that I thought would be most beneficial for some of you, because I get a phone call quite often. I take care of the dental units that belong to the Academy. The Academy owns 11. Actually, we own 10 that we let out. I've got an old one that comes in looks like a munition box that somebody built in. We've never rented it. It just sits in my garage. If somebody wanted to take that for a project, probably show it in a museum. But there are 10 units that I have, and I get a phone call, and they say, I see that you rent equipment that belongs to the Academy. I'm going to such and such a country. Can I use them or rent them? And I said, yes. Do you realize what you're getting? And the first question is, they have an idea that they're going to get all they need to go to and work on a project. They're going to get a dental unit. And so I thought maybe it would be best to show you what you're going to get. Now they come in a suitcase like this, and for some of you there in the back, you may want to stand up, but this is how it comes. It comes in this suitcase, and here's the unit here. And John found us some money so we could have one suitcase. It used to come in 2 suitcases. This side was in one, and this side was in another. But they come in a suitcase just like this. And there are 2 or 3 things that I send with. You get an instruction booklet, you get a unit, you get a little repair kit, and then you get a special item. You don't always get this, and I'll talk about that in a minute. There's someone in the back that knows about that. The unit is basically self-contained, with the exception, you've got to have air. And for some, that's a rather, for me it was a great frustration, because I sent the unit that looked like this. It would come back cut off because they put some kind of attachment on here to hook up to an air compressor. And so I went and bought a bunch of attachments. It increases the weight a couple of pounds. But now this is what you get that you hook up to the air compressor. And you can find enough of these kind of things and enough different. And so every unit goes out depending. And see, if I've got 2 units or 3 units, we took 6 units to the Dominican Republic this year, and I just take 2 of these. And we have a splitter here that we hook together. And so that's how we hook together. But you got to have an air compressor. And somebody says, how big an air compressor? This unit has a venturi suction that runs off of air. Takes more air to run this than it does your handpiece. The handpiece is a 4-hole Midwest, similar to Midwest, and you know what that takes to run it. And this particular unit is set at 70 pounds for the handpiece. Pretty simple inside. Adjustments here for the air pressure if you really want to. And I tell people, forget even to look in here, because they'll start adjusting it. Oh, I'm used to 100 pounds because I really want that bird to turn when I'm working. And then they come back and they're all messed up. But you have the air-water syringe, triplex syringe that comes with the unit. You have a slow handpiece with 2 different sleeves, a straight and a contra angle. And the contra angle is a push button for your latch type burrs, and a regular handpiece that is going to turn just like the handpiece in your office. And this is what you get when you rent this from the Academy, and it costs $50. We decided it would cost $100 and we'd give them $50 back. It's just easier for me to collect $50 and not worry about the $100 and trying to give some money back. The unit requires water. So you fill up the bottle, and you never fill up the bottle with water from the country unless it's bottled water minimum. So they go and get some tap water and fill this, and this just went off, some tap water, and put in here. And I don't know about you, but all these little water lines, by the time they come back and they've set for a week, they're all full of bugs that have grown and plugged it up. And now I have to take those water lines all apart. So we recommend at least bottled water. Yeah, this is supposed to slip right in. There it is. Bottled water. Now with the suction, the venturi suction, it doesn't go down in the sewer. It goes in this bottle right here. And that's probably the lowest job that anybody wants to have on the trip. Because they look in that bottle and it's half full of ugh. And so you hold it out here and you go find a potty that you can pour it in. Nicaragua was some open pits. But most of the time they've got some kind of a toilet that you can put it in, rinse it out, put it back on. Never let it get more than half full, because air is blowing in there. You get it half full, and now the stuff is being blown out on the floor, and somebody will call your attention to it, and you'll get gloves double layered and clean up the floor, which has just sucked everything out. But that's what you get. It looks just like this. You end up with about 35 pounds. Now, this little repair kit I always send with them. It has a crescent wrench that you can use to tighten up your air lines. It has a set of hex head Allen wrenches. And why do I do that? Because the airline seems to shake all of these little parts apart, and you'll get there and you may find that this is flopping up and down, or this lid is totally off, and it just needs to be tightened back up, and you've got all the parts here, and then it's got a Phillips screwdriver, and there's only Phillips screws, and so you can keep your unit running along with the little handpiece, or the book that comes with it. Now, most of the time you won't have any problems. I haven't. Most of the time when people rent these, here's the biggest problem. If anybody here from Connecticut or well, Connecticut and Virginia were the last 2 places that I shipped these units. And the individual back there gave me a check for $150 and a prepaid slip for FedEx, and I shipped 3 units. When they got there, he says, these are all apart. All these little screws. I said,